My fiancée refused to introduce me to her friends, yet I'm the controlling one.
Ooh, battle it out, controlling ones.
My fiancée, 32, doesn't want me, 28 male, to talk to her best friends at all before marriage. We've been dating for at least 2.5 years, and most of it has been public. By public, I mean that both my fiancé and I like to post pictures or reels of ourselves from vacations or times together, and we were very clear that we were in a relationship on the gram. By the way, this comes from user AmbitiousFinish879. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so please let us know what you do in the comments. As OP says, however, she doesn't have many real-life followers from her office or personal life on the gram. She has around 6, 7, or 8 really good friends who she meets regularly, along with one cousin. We decided to get married and set the wedding date for February 2025, 6 months from now. I introduced her to my family last month at a good restaurant in the city. My family got to know her, and they liked her. I took her consent, discussed it with my family, and booked a hall for the marriage. A few days later, she also went and booked a hall for her side of the party. In our culture, it's normal to have parties from both of the bride's and groom's sides. So far, I've introduced her to my family and one female friend of mine who lives in a different town with her boyfriend. She also met another friend of mine accidentally in the mall. I was driving my fiancée somewhere and 2 or 3 of her friends hopped in. We just spoke a few words as we traveled in the car. But her friends were aware that we were dating. Now, a strange incident happened last week that left me really confused. I received a text from one of her friends on the gram. Before this, I had never spoken to this friend except for one time a year ago when my fiancé wasn't talking to me because we had a fight. I texted her politely asking if she could talk to my fiancé, as I felt my fiancé was going through a lot and might need someone to talk to. She had a huge financial loan and had fought with me and her family for various reasons. Shortly after, I received a call from my fiancé regarding me messaging her friend on the gram. She was very angry and asked me never to talk to her again. I was surprised, but complied, as our relationship wasn't stable at that time. A little while later, her friend messaged me saying, "Hey, sorry I can't help you with this," and then blocked me on the gram. Last week, the same friend texted me again. She couldn't reach my fiancé over the phone and was concerned about what was going on. I politely replied, saying that my fiancé was probably just busy with work and that I would inform her friend. I called my fiancé and told her that her friend had reached out to me. My fiancé responded with, "Oh Lord, what? Why does she have to text you? Please block her on the gram." I found it very weird to block her friend and immature at the same time, so I told her that I wouldn't block her. My fiancé then said, "If you won't, then she will." A few moments later, I saw that I had been blocked on the gram by her friend again. This time around, it made me a little angry, and I ended up texting her on her other social media handle. I said, "Hey, how are you doing? I didn't like what you just did, and this is not a very respectable way to talk to someone." I also wrote, "If your husband has some self-respect, he should also not text my girlfriend when you guys are having issues." The friend replies with saying, "Hey, my husband, myself, and her were in her life long before you came into it." After that, I politely explained that I didn't mean to break their friendship. I only wanted to make their bond better and just felt disrespected for being blocked twice when I wanted to get to know them better. She didn't reply to this and informed my girlfriend. My girlfriend, once again, came out angrily and was very upset with me for referring to her friend's husband. I'm serious about her and have made an effort by introducing her to my family and friends. She has no family members. Her parents passed away, and her cousins live in other countries or far away. Her friends are the ones who will be present at our wedding from her side. So, I expected her to take me a little more seriously and maybe not ask her friends to block me. She often visits this female friend's house, sometimes staying over, and sometimes they have parties with the friend and her husband. These could be birthday parties or other occasions. I have never had the chance to properly meet any of her friends in any official way. I have expressed to her a couple of times that since her friend brings up her husband and baby along to group meetings, maybe I can also go along and meet them once. But she is strictly against this, and this blocking incident has seriously bothered me. My girlfriend says my ex-boyfriends had bothered her friends earlier as well, and she doesn't want that to happen again. but this would probably have made sense maybe a year ago. Now we're getting married in 6 months, and even now, she's hesitant. She says she will introduce me to her friends only after the marriage. Also, when she gets married, these friends will probably have to help her with arrangements and duties, as she has no one else. So, I needed to talk to them as well for our upcoming wedding preparations. I haven't spoken to my girlfriend for 2 days because of this, and she's also saying she's unsure of the marriage now after I expressed this desire to meet her friends. She says that I will be controlling in nature in the future? Am I asking for the right thing by asking her to introduce me to her friends? What should I do? And we have an update. Angie, is OP out of pocket to try and meet his future wife's friends?
No, definitely not. I think this is weird. Like, for a second with all of this mess, I was thinking that, like, I forgot that OP is, like, one of the people getting married here and not just, like, an outsider friend.
Right? Like a cousin or something? Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, my family member's getting married and I haven't met any of her friends.
Right, like,
that
if-
makes sense.
If that was the case, I was just thinking, just why are we being friends with any of these people? Why do we want to get to know the people that are doing a blocking war? Like, why is my girlfriend telling me that I should block this friend before she blocks me? I don't want to do that, first of all, and why do you think that's a good thing to do? Like, you want to quit before you get fired? Like, what do you mean?
I would genuinely be like, why are you hiding me from them? Or are you embarrassed of me? You're
Yeah.
gonna marry me. Like, this is a genuine, like, I'm not trying to be controlling. This is a genuine thing. You've met my family.
Yeah.
You've met a handful of my friends.
Right.
What's up with this? What's up with
Yeah,
the
like-
blocking?
I really, like, it's not anything I'm trying to control or, like, force you to do. I just am genuinely curious about your life, and I want to meet the people that you're close to. I would hope that they're okay with me. Like, is there anything that I did early in the relationship where, like, we got into a fight, they knew about it, and then they will never forgive me even though you did? Like, is it that kind of a thing?
Right.
Like, what? I just want to get to the bottom of this. I want us all to be a big happy family.
And you're like, I genuinely just want to meet your friends.
Yeah.
These
That's
are
all.
the people that you call friends. I would assume you want me to meet your friends.
Yeah, like, they would kind of become my friends when we get
Yeah.
together at all, not even just married, but like together.
That's before I get into the story. That's my test: is if my partner
Yeah,
could get along with my friends. If they
Yeah.
can't, if she can't,
it's like,
we got an
well,
issue. We have an update. It's been about a month since I posted my question regarding my fiance's weird behavior and her lying about her mother being passed away. Today, I decided to share a small update on the situation. After discovering that her mother was still alive, I was shocked for a few days. I'm shocked right now. Gradually, though, I started to feel better, although I was still eager to understand if I had done anything wrong, especially because I had seen both the good and bad sides of her. Now that some time has passed and I can think more clearly, though I do miss her at times, I reflect on what I know about her. She is someone who is naturally very compassionate and has shown great kindness towards animals, adopting or helping several street animals during the 3 years we were together. I've seen her experience happiness, sadness, and vulnerability. I've seen her good sides, but she also has been very harsh in her feelings towards my community, language, my parents, and even me. She clearly did things that were wrong, like discouraging interaction with her friends and lying about her mother being passed away, among other things. She also lied to me on another time in the past, which I consider the second biggest lie after the story about her mother's passing. This happened one night when she arrived in my city a day earlier than planned from her village home. I found out because I had been calling her repeatedly. She said she wanted to surprise me, but we didn't end up meeting that day because she asked me not to come over, claiming she was tired and feeling unwell. Later that night, I called her multiple times, but she didn't pick up. The next morning, I went to her flat and discovered she wasn't there. A few hours later, she called me from a friend's phone and explained that she had gone to her friend's house because her friend's boyfriend had come to stay, and the watchman wouldn't allow another guy in the flat, so they pretended to be family relatives to cover it up. I forgave her for lying that time and chose to trust her again. About a week ago, I noticed her repeatedly posting WhatsApp updates about how she was treated badly by me, how she was subjected to loneliness, and how I broke up with her. During that time, I attended a party with some guys and girls, and I saw her posting stories that directly defamed me, even though we had already broken up and I had every right to socialize with whomever I wanted.
Okay, so we've broken up before? Did we know that already?
Why did the update should have been saying we broke up, wedding's canceled, not She lied and her mother's alive.
Yeah, was this like a off again, on again, off again thing? Or did we break up in the past and then get together? Because it sounded like that was a while ago, not like current, right?
I don't know. That day, I messaged her after seeing her status updates, partly because I was angry about what she had posted, and partly because I wanted to know the real reason behind her lie about her mother's passing.
Okay, so it was current.
She responded with a lengthy message, but to summarize, she listed the following reasons. She said she lied about her mother being passed away because her mother never got her due respect in the past relationship. Her ex probably never let her stay at her mother's village house for more than 2 days. Her ex-boyfriend was roaming around in the city with other girls and probably even cheated on her while mother was in the hospital. She thought her mother would get proper respect if she lied about her mother being passed away, like her expired father, who is treated respectively after his passing, according to her. None of the reasons she gave seemed serious enough for me to believe. I pointed out that about 90% of her reasons were related to her ex-boyfriend, and asked her why she had to lie about her mother, especially since I had always been supportive regarding her family issues. I told her that her explanations didn't make any sense to me at all. She later told me I was wrong to say she had self-absorbed personality disorder. I told that to her once earlier because she never feels sorry and does gaslighting to hide her own errors, and I read online that this could be symptoms of NPD and asked her to get expert help on this. And by the way, here's some help. You can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to your favorite podcast apps such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and look up OK Storytime. There's a lot of help there.
A lot of help. Goofy advice. So this is crazy. I know there's more left, but like,
if anything, you made me more confused.
We got a whole lot of new information in that update.
Yeah,
A whole lot.
this I don't think we resolved the stem of why she wasn't letting you meet her friends. In fact, you found another stem
We had
of
other problems to
your
deal with.
mom's alive, and your reasoning for not telling me was you have NPD, supposedly, or I thought, I looked it up, and it seems like you have NPD, but maybe she didn't get that checked.
Right.
But also, the list that we got from her honestly made 0 sense.
0 sense at all. There is no way that I'm going to accept the fact that your ex-boyfriend treated your mother without respect and only treated your late father with respect because he had passed away means that now with your other partner that I thought you trusted, like,
And you were
thought you
gonna
trusted
marry?
me.
You were gonna marry?
Yeah, you told me that your mom had just passed away so that I could maybe respect her. It's like, first of all, that's something that we need to heal from that past relationship because that's not normal and that's not something that you should like comply with in the future. So like the fact that she was just like, yeah, this is just what I got to do in relationships is like scary.
This is, I think you are so okay, OP, to, maybe she needs to get checked on and seek professional help 100%. But
Yeah.
after that, I don't think this is not the relationship for you.
So many red flags. I would not trust this person after they told me that their mother had passed away. That's
Yeah.
like such a crazy, terrible thing to lie about.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and finish up this story. She said she had consulted a psychologist who diagnosed her with CPTSD,
Oh, interesting.
which can cause self-absorbed traits at times. Even so, I don't see how that justifies creating such a complex story about her mother to deceive both me and my parents, even going as far as to give a specific date for her mother's passing anniversary. She was also upset with my parents because they found the whole situation suspicious and started asking questions. Although I feel bad and believe she may be dealing with some behavioral disorders, I also suspect there is a deeper, more complex secret, whether it's hers or her family's, that has led to all these crazy stories. In my last conversation with her, I made it clear that, regardless of what she says, we are not in a position to restore the marriage.
Oh, thank
Good.
God.
Good. I don't want to hurt her by doubting her, nor do I want to hurt myself. Trust is something that cannot be rebuilt after everything that's happened. So I asked her just to tell me the truth. However, nothing substantial came from her that I could consider. And that
Okay.
is the end of that story.
My ex canceled our wedding, then slept with our friend.
There's a reason for the cancellation.
Fiancé, 25 male, ended our 6-year relationship 3 months ago out of the blue. He told me, 27 female, that he didn't want to get married anymore because he was unsure about how he felt about marriage. As a consequence, the wedding arrangements were canceled, invites retracted, venue alerted, etc. By the way, this comes from Jesse Rat. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in this situation. So let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, he suffers from depression and he got a new job, which was very stressful. He wanted to separate so he could clear his mind and meet up again after Christmas to see how we felt about each other, which gave me some hope even though I felt heartbroken. I moved back in with my parents, who are a couple of hours drive away, because our accommodation agreement came to an end, and as I am self-employed and not earning much, it would be hard to manage alone. I kept myself as busy as I could up until now, visiting friends, looking after my grandmother, applying for jobs to tide me over until my head is in a good place. I felt like I was able to start getting positive, but New Year's Eve, he called me to tell me that he had slept with a mutual friend the night before and wanted me to know from him. He used to talk to this girl a lot when we were together, and they were just friends then and have been since university. I wasn't overly comfortable about the conversations he had often had with her, as he often chose talking to her on laptop or phone over spending time with me. It made me jealous, but I was honest, and he assured me that he only saw her as a good friend and that she reminded him of his best friend from his school days. So he broke it off, and we had to live in the same house together until mid-December because of contracts working my job notice. He spent either time at work or privately in the spare bedroom on the laptop talking to her. I'm not proud of snooping, but as we share a laptop, I can see all the sites he visits, and he left his Blue app account logged in. I admit that I was in the wrong to look, but I did. They had been having conversations about just regular stuff, but they had sent silly photos of themselves pulling faces and whatever, no mention of me, except me and OP have broken up, sad face. My gosh. And her saying that she was sorry to hear that. They had arranged to go to a theme park together, see movies together, and potentially for him to go to her sister's wedding with her. So to get to the point, he tells me on the phone that she is a really good friend and his feelings for her have gotten more intense. So he drove to where she lives, which is several hours away. Then they went to see a movie together. He went back to hers and he made a move, and they spent the night having spicy sleep. He told her he loved her, and she said she'd been in love with him for the past year, but said nothing about her feelings because of me. I felt so hurt, as she was a mutual friend, and I feel that she overstepped the boundary with the constant private conversations that they had whilst he and I were together. And I feel betrayed by him for moving forward so quickly from one moment telling me that he loves me, can't wait to be married and start our family, to making his excuses to be free before diving into another relationship and telling this girl that he is in love with her. I don't know how to move on from this. My friends tell me what they think I want to hear, that he is a rotten guy and I can do better, but I'm finding it hard to assimilate what is going on because although I don't feel as though I love him anymore, I feel so upset and angry still. I now don't want to leave the house. I no longer take pride in my appearance, and I repeatedly torture myself by having nightmares of them together. Any advice, please? Oh, we do have some comments.
This
but
is
what are yours?
insane.
Yeah.
You didn't even have time to grieve your relationship, let alone this guy is stomping all over your heart that he
Right.
broke into 20 pieces, and then it broke more when he's like, it's a mutual friend of ours, and
Yeah.
I love her, by the way.
Yeah. No, I think you can 100% be upset about that still. Like, even if you don't love him. I mean, that kind of happened to me. Like, not really the same exact thing, but like probably over a year after I broke up with someone, I found out that like, yeah, I was probably getting cheated on in the relationship, and I was
Dang.
still so upset. I was like, obviously I like had totally moved on, but it was still
It
like
was like the final nail in the coffin kind
yeah,
of thing.
exactly.
And
It was like, well, I should have known the whole time. You know what I
but
mean?
that's not your fault. That's
Well, no, exactly. But it's like, I understand that, like, you could still feel that way. Like, that still sucks.
yeah, don't suppress your feelings. Don't be
Yeah.
like, I'm upset and like I'm getting what I want to hear, but I have no idea how to process this. That's so okay. I don't even know how to
Yeah.
process this, and I'm not even in this relationship.
Right. There are some comments. Comment number 1 says, I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm not a relationship guru, but I'd like to offer some neutral advice. 6 years is a long time to be in a relationship, but it's not as long as an unhappy marriage. It seems to me that he was pulling away for longer than maybe you'd like to admit to yourself. I obviously don't know everything about your relationship, but an honest relationship is a healthy one. Maybe he didn't admit to himself how much he cared for this other girl because he was with you, and pulling away gave him the space to do just that. It's going to be hard to move on from this, and that's okay. You seem as if you feel betrayed and have every right to feel whatever you feel. I hope you don't dwell on this too long in your life and have a good, healthy release for your negative emotions. Life moves on, and this isn't the end of your world. I hope you feel better soon. OP says, I didn't see it coming, to be honest. He talked about how excited he was about the upcoming wedding, and any slowing down of Spicy Sleep life, he assured me it was because of his depression and stress at work. I believed him. It could very well have been. But it also could have been this girl as well, I guess. The only issue I was aware of was the lack of spicy sleep. And I understood and never pressured him. Perhaps I was fooled easily because he gave every impression of being happy. And there is an edit, just a thank you to all who gave advice, wrote words of encouragement, or just generally nodded and listened. I thought this post would get lost, and I'm glad it didn't, because there has been a lot of things said here that will be useful for me, and hopefully others in a similar situation. You're all lovely people, and I appreciate it. But we do have an update 1 year later. Some might remember my post a year ago. We sure do. Which concentrated on how I was finding it a struggle to get through my long-awaited wedding being canceled, and how my ex-fiance became involved with a mutual friend. I'm just here to give a brief update and hope that my experience may perhaps encourage those in similar situations to keep positive and be inspired to move forward. Never underestimate how time truly is a wonderful healer. At first, you feel as though you are never going to leave the little ball of pain you roll yourself into, gradually giving yourself the space to grieve, anger, tears, arrogance, however you deal best. Making positive health choices, both mentally and physically, and keeping yourself busy can help the hurt become less and less each day. Personally, I began singing properly again. I was a self-employed music teacher for years, and when everything went wrong in my relationship, I stopped making music. I took a brief break, but knew quickly that something I loved doing must never be allowed to stop. Another word of advice is to find a hobby or rekindle old hobbies. Within the last year, I feel as though I've achieved a lot. I moved to a different city to begin a new job. I slept on a friend's sofa for 3 months to save money up to be able to afford to find a room in a shared house. It was hard. My life felt like it was in a suitcase. Most of my belongings were stored in my parents' garage a few hours away. I took all the extra hours that I could and threw myself into work. Within 3 months, I got a room for myself. Then shortly afterwards, I got a small promotion. I auditioned and joined a fantastic choir who have done loads of great classical CD releases. I tried the dating game again, venturing in via Tinder, but it didn't go well for me. Too many F-boys. Had a lapse, drank and smoked a lot, questioned my decisions and whether I was a failure. I picked myself up the best that I could, though. Moved houses again in November, met a great new man in December. Ex-fiancé got back in contact to find out about how I was doing. I told him I felt the best I felt in years and thanked him for breaking it off. I have a life that I enjoy living. And by the way, I hope you enjoy listening to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you find your podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. We have plenty for you to enjoy.
Yes, we do.
There is a little bit more to the story, but yeah, my girl is thriving.
That a girl.
It's a struggle, but that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, you know what? It's going to be a rough start.
Yeah.
But over time, and you said it best, time is an excellent healer.
It really is. It's so annoying when you're like starting your healing process.
Oh,
You're like, oh my God, I just have to like wait for it to be over.
It's like the end of the world. And everyone tells you this, you'll be okay. And
Yeah.
look at you. Yeah, you had some rough stuff and rough patches, but that's life.
Yeah, exactly.
But I said, you focused on yourself.
Right. There's like tons and tons of terrible people in the world, and you're going to run into them. That's just kind of statistically is just gonna happen.
And
so
within a year too,
Yeah.
good for you. Like
Yeah.
for some people, it could be shorter. For other people, it could be way longer.
Yeah.
That's just your timetable, and it's gonna. I mean, when you first got broken up with like. You're like, I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life.
right, it feels like that.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Your first heartbreak. And then
Right.
over time, there's going to be one day you're like, wait,
Like I actually haven't thought about that person.
I'm genuinely good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm feeling good.
Totally different. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's you, OP. You're
Good job.
good for you.
I feel as though I laugh every day about something. I often write down in a diary a couple of positive points to my day. Could be as simple as a lovely sunrise or a great talk with a customer, perhaps something to look forward to. I don't expect or need responses. I just wanted to say thank you for the advice and encouraging words that I had last year, and that I truly hope that others who were experiencing things similar to me are doing well. In particular, passing on best wishes to some commenters whose replies to my original post resonated in my mind. Thanks to, and that's all we got.